When it comes to aberrations, staying hidden is key to survival, so we proudly present top 10 hidden locations on Aberration. And coming at number 10, this can be found at 33 latitude and 27.9 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this first spot can be found right next to the portal area, so as you can see right here on the right, there is the main spawn for it, right over there. Now simply just come over here and then just figure out how to get up the giant wall. So I know I said fly a lot in my last video, so I'm sorry for that. I don't know, it's just a term that I just always say, so yeah. Anyways, here's your first one. Now, I guess you guys could consider this a rat hole, honestly, but I would like to call it a hidden spot as it kind of has a bigger entrance. But yeah, it's not a bad spot for like a smaller tribe. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. On top of that, I will be giving away an entire case of seltzers for free. Simply use my code from the day stated and I'll choose a winner at the end of September. Now, back to the video. And coming at number 9, this can be found at 24.7 latitude and 59.8 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this location can be found right above this path. Just fly all the way up. Again, I said fly, I don't know why, I just always say it. Just go all the way up and then here is your spot. Now, by hidden, yes, you could call it hidden. However, it doesn't really have like a main entrance, but it is super high up, and with how Aberration works, how you have no flyers except for that stupid blimp, but it honestly makes this spot a pretty decent spot because there's no flyers, meaning getting up here is a bit of a pain. I wouldn't live up here permanently, but it is a good spot until you can find a better spot to live in. So yeah, it's not a terrible spot at all. And coming at number 8, this can be found at 59.5 latitude and 31.7 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this next spot is also super high up, as the majority of these spots are on this list. Now this one is partially in the radiation zone, so living in this spot is gonna suck. However, there are ways to live in the radiation zone, it's just always a pain. However, that kind of helps you out a little bit more as not that many people are really gonna mess with you. So yeah, it's not that big of a spot, but if you're a smaller tribe and with some cliff platforms in here, you should be chilling. I mean, honestly, it's not a bad spot, so yeah. And coming at number 7, this can be found at 28.9 latitude and 27.2 longitude, and then there it was on the map. Now this can be found over in the portal area, or the green zone, kind of really whatever you want to call it. Now this one's actually not a terrible one, so as you can see, it is actually one of the more hidden ones on this list. It's just a bit of a tight area, so with a couple cliff plats in here, you can make it workable, but it is going to be a little bit tricky. That's mainly why I have it at number 7, but yeah, as for hidden wise, this spot is definitely one of the best on this list. It's just not that big, which is a pretty big downside. But yeah, other than that, pretty good spot. And coming at number 6, this can be found at 69.2 latitude and 29.9 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over in the radiation zone, and again, I did kind of put a bunch of different settings on so the map doesn't look like complete garbage. So yeah, I mean, it still doesn't look good with all the settings, but you're able to actually see things. So if you guys want these settings, go down in the description, it'll be in there, and then your map will look exactly like this. Anyways, here is the next spot. Now this can only be built in with cliff platforms. I don't know why, it's just an error until ARK fixes it, but they probably will never fix this. But yeah, so you have to live in here with some cliff platforms, so biggest downside with this spot, but other than that, it's not a bad spot. It's in a pretty good area, and you're decently high up, so not a lot of people are going to mess with you here. And coming in number 5, this can be found at 56.4 latitude and 46.5 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this next spot can be found directly above the radiation zone. It is partly in the blue zone, so you don't have any of the radiation like damage here, which is awesome. So this is a bit of a weird one right now. Until ARK fixes all the glitches with the coloring, it looks terrible in here, but this spot is actually one of the better ones. You have a lot of room in here, but the biggest downside is 2 entrances. As you can see, there's a little entrance down there, and then you get that main entrance. If it didn't have that little entrance, this would be number 1 on my list, but just because of that alone, it kind of is a little bit weak. But yeah, other than that, it's not a bad spot, and whenever ARK fixes it, it's going to be even better. Coming at number 4, this can be found at 24.3 latitude and 61.1 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this one can be found pretty close to that other rat hole that we had earlier that was like pretty open and right on the top of the border. However, this one is pretty much on the opposite side. So as you can see, here's the first portion of this location. Now you have a nice little flat area out front, but then it goes down into a decent sized spot. I mean, that's the size of a foundation in it, so you can fit everything in here pretty comfortably for a decent sized tribe. The best part about this spot is just that it's just super high up. So yeah, it's pretty high up. You got a lot of room to work with. I mean, it's not a terrible hidden spot at all. And coming in number 3, this can be found at 25.9 latitude and 61.3 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this next spot can be found decently high up, not as high up as that last spot, but it is still a good ways up, as the majority of these are. Now this spot, if you fly straight up here, just look for this kind of cliff pattern thing right here. And then as you can see, here is your hidden spot. It's a different kind of hidden spot. It's more of an open one. You do have multiple ways of getting over here, but it's meant for, you know, your average tribe to build out in the open. If you're up for it, you know, it's good for PvE and for PvP. So it's really up to you if you want to choose to live here. So yeah, not a terrible spot at all. And then you have the border right above you. I mean, it is a good ways up, but you still have a lot of room to work with, even with that border being there. Makes for a pretty good spot. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 75.1 latitude and 28.8 longitude, and then there it is on the map. Now this is probably one of the best spots on this map, strictly because of using some cliff platforms. If you can use the cliff platforms properly up here, you can make an almost unrateable spot. Now, what I mean by that is, other than a Carkinos, there's really no way to get stuff up here as there's no flyers. So, as you can see, right up here is the waterfall. You don't have a lot of room to work with, but if you can spam this area with turrets and just some cliff platforms, it is a really, really good spot to live in. I mean, honestly, the only issue with living in this spot is just trying to get into your own base spot, because it's going to be a pain to go up and down. And then you also have a little hidden route hole back in here, which is pretty cool, but you can't really do much with it. And coming in number 1, this can be found at 70.8 latitude and 30.8 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this last location is a pretty good spot. Now I'm not gonna lie, the majority of these are all about the same. So, you know, number 1's not really any better than, like, you would say number 2 or number 3. They're all pretty much equal. So yeah, here is this location. This one is actually one of the bigger ones on this list. And just a little hint right now for the next video, there is a rat hole right underneath this that may or may not be one of the most overpowered rat holes on Aberration right now. So just kind of putting that out there. But yeah, anyways, this spot is overall, it's pretty big. I mean, you can fit the majority of your stuff. And I mean, it makes for a pretty good spot. The only issue is getting up and down, but other than that, it is a pretty good spot. Alrighty guys, well that's it for today's video. So I do want to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about something different that I'm going to be doing with the channel by the end of 2024, which is, as of right now, it's about 2 to 3-ish months. Anyways, I'm trying to say this without YouTube taking this video down for me saying this, but I'm going to try it and focus more on sponsorships, if that makes sense. So there's going to be a little bit less ads on the channel and more sponsorships, meaning I'm going to be promoting more of stuff that I actually genuinely like. I'm going to be playing an ad at the beginning of this video, which you should have already seen, and then there's going to be an ad straight after this for a different item. I'm only doing that just to kind of help, you know, get some more bills paid, along with actually promoting some products that I genuinely like. These ads are 100% ads that you can skip, meaning that you don't have to wait 30 seconds for the ad to play. Simple as this. If you don't want to watch it, you can simply skip over it. It's completely up to you. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy these different types of ads, and then you guys will have less ads, and then by the time it is 2025-ish, I don't know exactly when, I'm going to try to be not fully ad-free, but I'm just going to try to aim for that. Again, I can't say too much as YouTube might try to take the video down if I do say anything else on that. But yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Here is the final ad, and then thanks for watching. This video is sponsored by GameSir Controllers, one of the biggest custom controller companies in the world. With the revamp of ARK Mobile coming soon, this controller, the G8 Plus, is a Bluetooth controller that turns any phone or tablet into a working system. Simply extend the controller and slide your device into it and you're ready to go. The G8 has sensing sticks, 2 mappable buttons, analog triggers, and magnetic faceplates, giving the feel of a regular controller. The best part about this controller is that it's only $80. Use my link in the description along with the code on screen for 10% off. The best part about this is that you can order them straight from Amazon.